Like,
I know.
you don't get it. I love efficiency. Yeah.
My tank top, fucking.
Look at these.
Oh yeah.
They're red. My guns are red.
Fucking communist.
Yeah.
I step outside for 10 minutes to walk my dog, and then I'm just like pink all over.
I thought about you a lot today when I was in the heat because you get so mad.
Oh yeah, I get very irritable.
You start sweating.
Yeah.
And
I'm
yelling.
I'm like I just like can't handle it at all when
Yeah.
it's too hot. It's fucking awful. And it's been like 90 degrees every day for the past couple of days. So I've been having a bad time.
Today was the first time I really felt it and was like, this is bad.
Mm.
We're in the heat dome.
Mm-hmm.
Catch everyone up.
Dude.
Heat dome.
Dude, why do
They make it sound cool. They make it sound like a halftime, like a thing during a halftime show at a sports game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's like the thing that the sports take place in.
Heat dome.
Heat dome.
Yeah, Tacoma Dome.
Yeah,
we have that in Washington.
We're at the Comcast Heat Dome.
Yeah.
I don't know why they have to keep rebranding this shit.
I know.
Like, it's a heat wave.
Is it scientifically different? I haven't looked into it at all.
I'm sure it's fucking not.
It's probably not, right?
There's no way a heat dome is...
Are they just doing it because the coverage is circular or something?
Maybe.
I should have looked this up before we started talking about it.
I have no idea, but
I've just decided, like you, without looking into it at all, that it's stupid that we have another name.
Yes. I hate that. They always do this. Like, do you remember there was like I think it was like before the pandemic, it was called like a squall or something.
Oh.
They were like, we're having a squall.
Squelcher. They're just like mispronouncing squelcher.
Yeah, they're like, too many kids on the ground have water guns.
Yeah,
but like
dome.
They keep fucking making up names and shit. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
We all know what a heat wave is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they trying to scare us?
It's weird that we name other things specifically too. Even the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like giving them names.
Yeah.
Why don't we just call them like 1 and 2 like we do with planets?
Well,
like
because
ANPX2.
There's like 10 hurricanes a year.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd be at like hurricane number 848.
They're all just like, or they're like ANPX2P. They sound like passwords.
Yeah. And nobody would be
sounds like my router.
Yeah. I mean, Hurricane Katrina is like, sounds cooler.
It does sound cooler.
Hurricane Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heat Dome Kevin.
Dome. Heat Dome Kevin. Oh God, isn't it fun when there's a hurricane that's your name?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a Hurricane Brittany? Do you know?
Not that I know of.
I don't know if there's been Hurricane Allie or Allison. I have no idea.
I think you're going to be first.
I
It
mean,
just feels more like a hurricane name.
It feels like there would be a high likelihood for there to be a Hurricane Brittany or Allison because we're A and B.
Allison, though, I think if it's going to be any, it's going to be Allie, not Allison.
Really?
Allison to me seems too, like, I don't know. It's like too calm.
Well,
and logical to be a hurricane.
But do you think that there's like hurricanes that are just nicknames? There's like Hurricane Kathy.
Really.
Like Allie's a nickname. Unless
Hurricane Britt, that's my dad's name.
Yeah. Unless it's like a boy hurricane and it's Hurricane Ali.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like Matt.
Yeah. Hurricane Matt.
Hurricane Matt? He's like, is that a football?
Yeah. He works in finance.
Thinks everything's a football, yeah.
He thinks everything's a football.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns.
Welcome.
A podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Bertonis Cardwell on Instagram. Our pod Instagram is at Worthless Clowns.
Yep. And my name's Allie O'Neill. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Allie O'Neill. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. Fucking send in your stupid stories to worthlessclownpod@gmail.com. And that's it, I think.
TikTok, Worthless Clowns.
TikTok.
Poe.
Yep.
Not
Poe.
pod.
Don't forget, it's Poe. Because
but you can tag 3 different accounts somehow. 3 different accounts show up.
Yeah.
But tag Poe.
You'll know the one. It's fine. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm fine. Did I tell you that I've been watching all of The Simpsons?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because as you may know, I didn't get to watch it when I was a kid.
You didn't get to watch it?
My parents wouldn't let me. I couldn't watch that and like MTV and certain Nickelodeon shows like Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm. That's so funny.
We were allowed to watch Seinfeld. Like, I couldn't watch The Simpsons, but I could watch Seinfeld, which is...
That's crazy.
At least equally, like, adult.
Yeah.
You know?
They talk about, like... I feel like they're more explicit in what they talk about in Seinfeld.
Probably. Yeah.
They have like a whole episode about like not jerking off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wonder if I understood what that was at the time. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's because maybe they're like thought around it. I don't think they put a lot of thought into it.
No.
I think probably it was political or something. Like The Simpsons is too, I don't know.
They also
liberal.
Probably watched Seinfeld and didn't watch The Simpsons, so they didn't know like what The Simpsons was like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't like that little kid who's telling everybody to eat his shorts.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to think that they can just tell people that to eat their shorts, you know?
Yeah. But maybe it is partly because Seinfeld was very like situational, you know?
Yeah.
And then The Simpsons did have political commentary and stuff.
That's true. Yeah,
And,
I guess like Seinfeld is pretty apolitical.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, they'll touch on topics, but in the same way Jerry Seinfeld might write a joke about something topical, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
He's not really taking a side.
Yeah.
He's just like doing it for the bit.
No, totally. He's probably a Republican, honestly.
Yeah.
He's 100% a Republican, right?
Who knows? Did you watch his movie?
Oh, the Pop-Tarts one?
Frosted Flakes? No, yeah, it's Pop-Tarts. I guess they had a lot of cereal in it. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's too hot.
Heard it was
My brain's
terrible.
Fried. It was watchable. I'm not going to rewatch it. I will never rewatch it. That's how I feel about it.
Brittany points at the camera.
As though Jerry Seinfeld's checking up.
I'm not rewatching it, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm watching The Simpsons, all of it, for the first time. And me and Dwayne are. And it's been pretty fun. But something that has come up as we've been doing this is now, because you and I have talked about Simpsons porn.
You think about it every time?
Now when I see Marge, I get flashbacks to the porn that I've seen of her on this podcast. Most of the time I'm not thinking it, but out of nowhere I'll just be like, oh, whoa. Or like, it's like an image of her like butt right in the camera.
Yeah.
And her like, you know, her genitals are like pink. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, which is
they
weird.
made the genitals more realistic for some reason.
Yeah.
And then her face, like she's looking back.
Yeah, and she's like, homie.
Yeah, that won't.
Fuck me in the ass, homie.
It keeps popping into my head. And Marge is like such a sweet, like lady.
She's like such a mom.
Such a mom.
Yeah,
and she's like
yeah.
so caring.
Yeah.
She's like too caring.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Totally. I'm sorry.
And then I see her like that.
I have a hard time focusing on what we're talking about because I keep wondering if Marge in The Simpsons porn has like blue pubes. Do they give her blue pubes?
No, it was shaved.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's a mother. She doesn't have time to shave her fucking pubes.
Anyway, that's going on with me. I'm trying to watch The Simpsons and not think about Marge porn, but it's there. It's happening.
You're just thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah. I'm doing that thing where I'm like, why does my brain keep showing me this?
Yeah. And you're like, go away. Oh,
What's
God.
going on with you?
Nothing. I have a story to tell about my father.
Oh, we're getting into stories now?
Well, no. It's not a stupid story, but
update.
It's too short to be a stupid story. It's an update. So I called him I went to Boston this weekend or last weekend with Dave. We stayed at Cindy's. It was great.
Cindy, not a fan of the pod.
Not actually. A fan of the pod.
She's the one who listened to the first episode, which happened to be about a wedding we went to.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know. It seems like it's all about your friend's wedding.
Yeah. The podcast is just about the wedding. And then she was like, I don't think I'm the audience.
Also, that episode also featured our Bayou tour that we went on. Where the guy was talking about dead bodies dropping out of caskets.
Yeah. Floating down the river, popping out of caskets on Thanksgiving. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess the podcast's not about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Cindy's like basically an aunt to me. She's fucking great. And I stayed there with Dave, and the stay was very fun. The shows were so weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The first show we did was in New Hampshire. And I always forget that New Hampshire is like the weirdest place in America. Because they're like the cutest, like most New Englandy little like seaside town where they have like trinkets and shit. And like it's like a beautiful little like quaint town.
You got sand dollars?
And then big time sand dollars. Man. Every shop sells them probably.
I miss those.
And then I was like doing the show and I was like starting my set and I was like, is it true here that you don't have to wear a fucking seatbelt if you're over 18? And everybody's like, yeah, that's fucking right. That's right, guys. And I'm like, you guys think you're the fucking Texas of New England. They're like, yeah, that's right. Yes, we are. And I'm like,
they're responding like they're a sports team or something.
It was so insane. They like loved that they were like a lawless land that nobody wants to live in. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh my God. But anyway, so Sunday when we were driving back, also, we rented a Tesla.
Ooh, how was that?
I hated it.
Really?
I hated it.
Because of the door handle?
Well, that was a big part of it.
How come nobody's talking about, how come nobody has like given some kind of guidance about how to do this door handle?
I know.
Even Uber drivers don't tell me and I mess up every time. Yeah, and they'll go like, oh yeah, everyone does. I'm like, then how do you do it?
I know.
Tell me. I haven't looked it up, but.
There's so many like things in it that are so weird. Like, it's an electric vehicle. I don't know if you've ever like driven an electric car, but like if you take your foot off the gas, it like brakes essentially.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either because like, I don't know, when you're driving a regular car, like when you're going around turns and shit, you like accelerate a tiny bit and then you like kind of like coast around.
Yeah.
But like when I was driving it, I was like fucking going through like a stoplight being like,
oh my God.
It was fucking so crazy.
Also, it's like, then you got to have your foot putting pressure on it constantly.
The entire time. Yeah. And like, also,
I'm so glad I rented a car for next weekend, and I'm so glad it's not a Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
I had the option. I was like, I don't know. I can't handle the door handle.
I know.
So I don't want to open the door handle and the window go down and freak myself out right before I'm
every time I open it, the window goes down a little bit. I'm like, what the hell?
I know. It's so stupid.
And like, we fucking... Oh, and then the other thing is, the guy who owns the Tesla set the top speed we can go at to 76.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and I guess you could fucking do that in a Tesla. So then we were like on the highway going with traffic, like approaching like 80, and it was like bam, bam, bam. And we were like, I fucking
76 is a little low because like, what about a situation where something's happening and you need to speed through something?
Well,
right?
I think, I mean, yes, that was my first thought too.
Like Fast and the Furious situation.
Yeah.
You gotta zoom fast under the semi truck.
Yeah. What if I have to do that?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it will prevent you from going over 76. Oh. It just like, I literally got a notification in my phone every time it went over 76. It was crazy. And it would beep and it was so annoying.
That's so weird.
But anyway, so
Did you get a review where it was like number of times over?
No, I didn't at all. I hope. But
because it's use the app, right?
Yeah, I use the app.
You can rent the car.
Yeah. But so anyway, all that aside, I called my dad on Sunday because it was Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was in like really good spirits for no reason. It was really crazy.
Got a good grow of lettuce going?
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on, but he was having a good time. And I was like, oh yeah. He was like, I heard you were in Lawrence. And I'm like, yeah. Because Lawrence is where one of our shows was. And I was like, oh yeah, me and Dave, we did a fucking show in Lawrence and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I hate going to Lawrence. I got to go up there for the Archdiocese. The last time I went took me 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I drive a lot.
Talking about...
I drive a lot. I took 295 up. You get right on Post Road. Yeah, like all that. And I was like, oh yeah, we're driving down. We're driving a Tesla. And he's like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool experience. And I was like, and I knew he'd love this joke. I was like, yeah, but let me tell you something. You can't fucking... It doesn't let you do anything. It like turns on the like windshield wipers for you, and it turns on the like lights for you and everything. It's like a fascist car. It's a fascist car for babies. And my dad's like, oh, he loved that. He loved the idea of a fascist car. And then he was like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't know. They do that to all electronics now, you know, like they could just like shut off your dishwasher if they, you know, post the wrong thing on social media. Like they do that in California all the time.
What? Oh my God. What is he reading?
I have no idea.
What websites are you on?
I have no idea.
Are he on?
But he...
Whatever.
What websites are he on? But yeah, my dad was literally like, they'll turn off your dishwasher if you post the wrong thing on social media in California. And I'm like, okay, anyway. And he's like, oh, you're always joking about everything, you know? I can tell, you know, I get in trouble for that sometimes too. I was
Is
like,
there
okay.
any way this was a joke of his?
No.
Because that's hilarious. That's a great joke.
I know, it's so funny.
Not a joke.
Yeah, he's just reading like America One magazine.
Yeah.
And they're like, if they don't like what you post on social media, they should. Also, dishwasher?
Yeah, dude, turn off your dishwasher.
Like if they're really trying to like control people, they're like, have fun washing your dishes in the sink, asshole. That'll teach them. It's so crazy.
Man.
Oh man, it's so funny.
That's a good idea, though. I mean, if you did want to really control people's speech.
Yeah. Just shut off their dishwashers.
Their electronics, like turn their lights off.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn on their lights off and on.
I would be a perfect citizen to have good lights.
Honestly, you could. If you wanted to control people's speech, you could make them think that they have a poltergeist.
Hey, yeah. And only when they do the bad thing.
Yeah.
You flicker the lights.
Yeah.
A frame drops from the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That the sheets get ripped off of you in the middle of the night.
Man, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Your dad's hilarious.
Dude, he's so funny. And I don't think he even knows why he's funny. He has no idea what makes him funny. He thinks doing the bunny impression for too long is what makes him funny. But like what really makes him funny.
The bunny impression is it.
Yeah.
I'm the guy with the bunny impression.
Yeah. But like what really makes him funny is he's like, if you're going to come into my house and rape my wife, I'm dying that night. That's what makes him funny. We've talked about that.
What did he say too? Like, he's like, what did he say about, he's like, you always have to be ready to.
Oh, yeah. So whenever we go into a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of another thing. He's like, you always have to be ready to preach or die.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, that sounds a little bit specific to you only.
Yeah. It's like he's testing out people's, what people think about a tattoo he's wondering about.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just say it in a sentence
and
see
God.
how people respond.
If my dad got a preach or die tattoo, I would fucking lose my mind. That's so funny. Oh, God.
Man, I'm like, did we say this last time we brought this up? The exact same thing. We probably did.
Preach or die?
Yeah.
I don't think you said the tattoo thing.
Okay. Well, hard to know. Because like, we've talked about this on the pod. Sometimes when we used to watch it back together when we were learning how to edit it early on, we'd be riffing together. And then like on the pod, watching ourselves do that.
Yeah.
And then one of us in real life would say a thing to riff on what's going on.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, we'd be saying it on the pod.
I know, yeah.
So I might just be, and we call it Are You You?
Are You You? Yes, that's our game show.
I think I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and look. I think we said the same thing a year ago.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. But yeah, no, that's our game show. Are You You?
Are You You?
Is we make the same riff while we're watching the pod
and then we go,
and then we're like, Are You You?
And then we go, I have consistency in who I am.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
I do know who I am a little bit.
There she is.
You're like a baby seeing a mirror for the first time.
Yeah,
You're like, I know who that is. They're moving just like me.
Yeah. Man, I would love to, like they don't know how much personality changes like over your lifespan.
Yeah.
Right? That's like one test that they're always trying to figure out.
Yeah. How do you measure that?
I don't know. I don't read this stuff really, but I know they're trying. But wouldn't that be hilarious if like at the end of my life, they showed me, they like figured it out. And then I'm just repeating the exact same thing every year. Yeah, you're doing the Rat King thing.
Yep.
I'm doing, what do I do?
I don't know. Sometimes we have conversations and then you get really stuck on a detail.
Yeah.
We're going to be like do you ever wonder if we're just like two people like in a bus?
Yeah.
Just sitting there next to each other, looking out the window. Not really all there. Mm-hmm. Just staring out a window and being like, Rat Kings. And then you're like, am I sick? Do you feel sick?
And then someone's like, we're here. And they have to direct us off the bus.
Yeah. And then they're like, these two are like having way too good of a time.
And you're like, my dad thinks he's a bunny.
Yeah. And they're like, come on, sweetie. Come on, grandma. Let's take you to the home.
And I keep talking about naked Marge.
Yeah, I know. You're like, her pussy is pink. Her body's
They're
yellow.
always apologizing for my behavior.
Yeah. You're like, her body's yellow, but her pussy is pink. She's too good of a mother to be doing that. And you're like,
that was such a big snort.
My gut microbiome.
Man,
that's what we're gonna be like when we have Alzheimer's. We're gonna be like in a home and being like, I'm gonna be even worse than I am now about asking people if they know what a rat king is.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a sign. You know how they have like signs on the like shelter doors for dogs?
Yeah.
That's like do not approach, like shit like that. Mine's gonna be like, if she asks you what a rat king is, pretend not to know.
Yeah. That's so funny. Man.
Oh, God. Should we get into our stupid stories?
Yeah.
All right, you go first.
Should I go first?
I talked for so long about my dad.
Okay. Did I meant to ask you this before the pod, but did I tell you about the thing where I got in a fight when I was a kid?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't.
Okay.
This doesn't ring a bell at all.
All right. So, have you ever you got in fights growing up, right?
When I was a child?
Yeah. Like middle school.
Oh, yeah. But they weren't like fights. You know what I mean? They were like tussles.
Yeah.
You know? Because nobody knows how to fight when you're in middle school.
Nobody's fighting.
Yeah. And if you do know how, then that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Somebody has a kid fighting ring.
Or you have that one dad we read about who like makes his kids wake up at 4 a.m. to do boxing and run for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
I know. Like it's like those kids who seem like they're just assholes, like bad kids. And you're like, oh, you got a bad family thing going on.
Totally.
Like your dad is too controlling.
The vast majority of the time they have shit going on at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably the only fight I've ever been in, this was like, I'm probably in like 5th or 6th grade. And when I grew up on the military base, there was like this big field next to my house.
The one you found the diamond in.
I don't know where that was. I think that was in California.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
Never
for bringing
mind.
it up. Good memory. Thought a sandwich bag was a diamond.
Well, the reason why I say that is because you've told me that story, like I've heard that story on the pod, and then I've like heard you say it on stage and stuff, and I have a very vivid idea of what that looked like in my mind, and it was always on the military base outside of your house.
Yeah.
Like the field outside your house.
Was in the first military base we lived in.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because I remember it was in succulents, and that was in California. We had a lot of succulents around. Like there's the grass-looking succulent, you know? It's all spiky and it's all over the place. I don't know what it's called. I used to love just opening those things up and watching them goo out.
Oh, aloe.
Is it just aloe?
Yeah, it's aloe vera.
Okay.
You don't believe me?
Well, just the shape of it, I feel like. But I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's like a different species of aloe.
Yeah,
I think they have like different kinds.
Yeah.
So like the one that you see like, you know, on the cover of like aloe things is like is like a different one. Anyway, who cares?
Anyway, I will look it up though. Just out of interest.
Yeah. You really are so suspicious of me saying it's aloe. Well, I mean, this is fair because I'm
more like I want to know if there are different types. I was on the phone with Dwayne yesterday, and this is unrelated, but it reminds me of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking about someone I had met with about something, and who I was like worried. It was a guy who runs my venue.
Oh,
and I was like worried that they were upset with us, but I met with him, and he was like actually really effusive about working with us and about whatever.
Effusive.
Yeah, and then Dwayne's like, what does effusive mean? And it felt like a test. Just in his tone of voice, it felt like he didn't believe that I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But he just wanted to know what it meant because he didn't know.
What does so
he's
tell
like,
me
what does effusive mean?
Tell me what you think effusive means.
and then I, because of my problems with myself, I was like, wait, maybe I do know what it means.
Yeah.
But then as I started saying it, I was like, I don't know.
Wait, what does effusive mean?
It just means you're kind of like over the top, like being complimentary and happy and like pleasant to somebody, you know, like saying they're great or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
That kind of thing. And I said that, and then I was like, I don't know. When I think of it, I imagine kind of like a soda that's like super bubbly. And he's like, oh, effervescent. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a different word.
Yeah. Wait.
But one's like a physical version of it. It's how I see it.
I can see the like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Anyway,
the fight.
Yes.
So we used to play on this field. It would be me and all the other military kids playing like, there's this game called Spongeball. You ever play this?
No.
I can't remember anything about it really, but it was like you throw a ball way up in the air. There's a bunch of people, there's teams, and I don't know what you do with it.
Okay.
But we were playing that game a lot. And some kids came out. Me and a bunch of kids were playing.
Mm-hmm.
A couple kids came down who were always hanging with us, who were kind of bullies. And they were like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're playing Spongeball. And they're like, that's not how you play Spongeball. Like they just wanted to like fight with us.
Yeah.
They just walked up to us and were like, you guys don't know the rules.
Yeah, they were like, explain to me what you think Spongeball is.
Yeah. So then we argued with them that we did know the rules. And then it became a fight. Like some of the people we were playing with ended up siding with them. I don't know what was going on there. So then it became like two groups of kids like at war about the rules to Spongeball. Like this is the thing we decided was really important for us, and we were gonna like get physically into it about rules.
About the rules of a game that doesn't matter.
We're like running around a field kind of like acting like we're gonna hurt each other or sometimes hurting each other. And I remember me and my best friend at the time were on opposite sides somehow.
What?
I don't know how that happened. Her name was Priscilla. And I just remember like getting like really upset, probably because I thought it was stupid. And I was like, everyone's getting actually mad.
Yeah.
And then me and Priscilla are like fighting, like kind of physically. Oh. But the only way we were fighting is like our arms were both out like this in front of us.
Yeah.
And they were just interlocked. So like her arm was grabbing my forearm and my arms were grabbing her forearm.
Oh yeah, and you were like pushing each other. Yeah.
And I was just trying to like hold her off. I don't want to hurt my friend.
Yeah.
And then she digs her nails into my arms and I bled.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Over Spongeball?
Over rules to Spongeball. And then I was like really upset. Like I was scared.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kid, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not that young, but still.
Yeah.
I've never been in a fight.
Yeah.
And my little brother was involved too. I don't know what was going on with him.
Oh my God.
We were both really upset. And so we ran inside. My older brother was inside and we told him like there's a big fight. There's a war. We ran inside and we're like, Drew, like we need your help. Like there's a war and we're losing or whatever. I don't know. But we were serious about it. We were like crying and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay. He's older.
Dude, what if he took out a gun?
He basically did. He pretty much did. He grabbed weapons.
Oh my God. Wait, what did he grab?
Just basketballs.
Oh.
But he grabbed them like they were weapons.
Yeah.
Like, and he put 2 basketballs under his arms and he walks outside with us like a superhero. He's like walking like big and like assertively with these like guns underneath his arms.
Yeah.
And then he starts just hurling them at kids like as hard as he can. It's like on
oh God.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I didn't.
I'm watching The House of the Dragon right now, and it's like when they're all at war, and the dragon comes out and just like spits fire on everybody.
Oh yeah.
That's what he was doing for us. It was so ridiculous. And then the fight ended. He like scared everyone.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was he older than everybody in the fight, or was it a mixture of ages?
I think he was the oldest, but then there was probably one kid who was only a year younger than him or something.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Definitely like biggest.
Yeah.
He was like really tall. And
he's like, everybody stop fighting. He just nuked everybody into submission with basketballs.
Yeah, it was like that. It's so funny. I think about that all the time.
God, that's so funny.
Like, I remember being like, whoa, like it was like super intense. And I was like, that's my brother.
And then every time you have like a playground fight, you're like, watch out, I'll get my brother again.
Yeah.
And they're like, please, no, please don't.
Yeah.
He's so scary.
Everyone's got like PTSD from it.
I know.
They can't play basketball anymore.
Yeah. There's a bunch of kids on the military base like in therapy.
Yeah. Flinching.
They're having fucking Vietnam War flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's my story.
Man, that's fucking so sick.
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Drew, for looking out.
I don't know what would have happened to my arms if I didn't have them.
I know. They would have been a little bit more bloody.
By dirt under a girl's fingernails.
I know, seriously.
You know?
Yeah, that's fucked up. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out which story. I have two stories. One of which is like about me, and then the other one is about somebody else, but I think it's funnier. I'll do the funnier one, even though it doesn't even have to include me being... No. It doesn't include me being stupid, but there's stupidity that happens.
Now it's like you're doing what I do.
Yeah,
you're just questioning it all.
I know, and I'm like, is this okay to tell on my podcast?
Or yeah, like what our guests do sometimes. They're they're like, well, this one's like kind of. I don't know if it's stupid or embarrassing or not.
Yeah, I know, and also I don't know. It's just so broad. Anyway, so when I was in high school, I lived in Rehoboth, but my mom worked in Boston, and so she like would go into the office, and then she would walk home to she'd walk to the train station, and then take the it's essentially like the like commuter rail back to the town that we lived in. And so on the way home, she was crossing the street, and I think it was before her hip surgeries, so she was not steady. Very not steady. She tripped in the middle of the street, and she fucking banged her forehead on the sidewalk.
Oh, man.
And like didn't get up right away. And then like the way she describes it, she was like, I'm laying in the middle of the fucking street. The light turned green. Everybody just starts driving around me.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's crazy.
So she walks into a Starbucks holding her head, which is bleeding. And she's like, can I get some ice? And they're like, oh my God. And so they give her ice. She fucking comes home. She has a huge egg on her head. It's like bleeding. She didn't need stitches or anything. She didn't go to the hospital. She probably should have. Yeah. But she didn't go to the hospital. So she had this huge, horrible thing on her head. And
man, I've seen one of those. Open up, big.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like as she's healing from it, like, so it was up here on her forehead. As she was healing from it, she like started to get black eyes. It was almost as if like the blood that was in here like traveled down.
Whoa.
So she looked terrible for like 2 weeks.
She looked like Furiosa.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So she like had 2 black eyes, and she had like her nose looked like it was fucked up and shit. It was crazy. She ended up being fine, but she like was working from home because she looked terrible. Yeah. And so one day she has to go into the office to pick something up, and she goes near the end of the day so nobody will see her, but there's still people in the office. And this is like the most Boston thing I've ever heard in my entire life. She walks in, there's like one guy in there who she knows pretty well. Yeah. And then he's like, he looks at her 2 black eyes and he's like,
she didn't put glasses on?
No. It was like more than that.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was, and so she like walks in, she sees this guy that she knows, and he like looks at her and he's like, new boyfriend?
Man.
Dude, in a
and
fucking...
it also means it.
Yeah, or no, I think
it was a joke, right?
He was definitely joking.
Yeah, okay.
But an insane joke to make in an office setting is to be like, well, you got a new boyfriend who beat the shit out of you? Like, it's so crazy. It's so wild.
And that's exactly, was she prepared with responses to, because like, that's what I would imagine people think if I had a black eye.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, well,
you'd be like, oh, I fell.
I'm prepared to be like, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Because people are going to wonder and they need to know.
Yeah. I think she didn't think
because my boyfriend's going to.
Yeah, I know. My boyfriend's going to get really mad if he finds
something worse.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't think she thought she would see anybody in there.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she would.
Yeah.
I think she thought she was gonna like sneak in and then grab the shit that she needed and then like sneak out. But then this guy's like, new boyfriend.
No, I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
She can't even just say the real one because she gets nervous.
She's too nervous.
Because she feels like she's lying.
Yeah, I know.
So she says something extreme that's like even less believable.
Yeah. She's like, he punched me. No, he hit me. No.
I was peeling an orange, and you know how it's hard sometimes.
And then I
ripped it, and I just threw it in my own eye.
I just whacked myself in the head. I opened the door into my own head. I'm so stupid like that. I'm so stupid all the time.
Yeah. I don't deserve the boyfriend I have.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, it was fucking so crazy.
Yeah.
God, what a hilarious thing to say. Also, you know that guy had it like lined up. Mm-hmm. Like, you know that guy was like, I can't wait to see somebody with two black eyes so I can say this line. It sounds like he heard it in a movie or something before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so crazy.
Man,
God.
Two black eyes.
I know.
I got a black eye once. I think I told you about it on the pod, maybe, where I'll tell it anyway. I'll just tell it.
All right.
It was really bad. Sierra was over. I'm pretty sure I told it, so I'll tell it quick. Sierra was over. That was in high school, and we had a dog at the time, Claire.
Oh, Claire's Accessories.
Beautiful dog.
R.I.P. Claire's Accessories.
And Sierra like had just washed her hair or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And she put her head. She was like, "Smell my hair," you know. And she put her head down, and I smelt her hair because I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
And then Claire got into her face down there, like as she was bending over, and Sierra forgot that I was like next to her head smelling her hair. So she like whipped her head up super fast because Claire was bothering her, and she hit my eye.
Oh my God.
I had a huge black eye. And then I think it was probably the weekend, so it wasn't like the worst of it when I had to go to school. Mm-hmm. But then I'm pretty sure eventually I have to go to school. I remember trying to make my makeup look the same on the other eye. Because it was like, it was in a spot where it looked like it could be
like
makeup,
eyeshadow.
like dark makeup. So I like tried to do it on the other side.
I love the logic of trying to make it look like another black eye rather than just covering it up. Like you had makeup.
Yeah, I gave myself
to do
the second one.
So you gave yourself the second one instead of just covering it up.
That's so funny. That's I didn't think about
that. Nuts. Also, like Claire bothering Sierra and then Sierra hitting you in the head is the stupidest like Rube Goldberg machine I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Yeah. It's also just like so slapstick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
God.
Oh, I just burped so much. Also, this lady fell over at Two Boots years ago. She wasn't at the show.
I remember that she was outside. Yeah.
She like fell as she was walking out the door, hit her head on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Same thing. Front of her head, like huge wound.
Yeah.
Just like bulging.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so drunk, she wouldn't let anyone help her.
Yeah, I
and
remember
she
you
was
telling me about this.
It was terrible. She was like bleeding and people were trying to help her and she couldn't listen. And she didn't know what was going on. So she kept just sticking her fingers in it.
Oh, yeah.
It was disgusting. She finally got help. The ambulance came, but it was like crazy.
God, that's so fucking crazy.
And then the show's on, and this is happening in the entrance.
Yeah, I know.
And there's like ambulance lights flashing outside.
Yeah.
It's so weird because we're like having to keep the show going like everything's fine.
Yeah.
And there's like this weird, like crazy situation going on.
Honestly, I'm glad that didn't happen at Ebbs.
Yeah.
Because people would be able to see the entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like no show would be happening. Should we get into our fucking postie?
Yeah.
I can read the postie.
Okay.
I haven't read the postie in so long.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay. We have a post from an internet user. So it's from a different subreddit. It's called Am I Wrong? So pretty cool.
I wondered about, they were like, we think it's, they didn't like Am I the Asshole? They thought it was too like negative.
Yeah.
So I wanted to read like why they made this group, or maybe they just didn't know about the other one.
Or it's probably like, am I the asshole? Like, did I do, like, I feel like, am I the asshole did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
And then am I wrong is like, is this the wrong opinion? But like, it's such like a delicate, like nuanced thing that
There's
people
a lot
just post
of
in
similar
both.
posts.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, mostly abusive relationships.
Yeah. Luckily, not this one.
Am I wrong for screaming at my wife because she dropped a glass?
Yeah. Am I wrong for punching my wife in the head and giving her 2 black eyes? Even though she mouthed off to me?
Even though she does her makeup like that?
Yeah. I was just giving her another black eye because her makeup
I
was
thought
uneven.
you would like this.
I was helping you out, honey. Oh, now I'm the asshole. Okay. Am I wrong for how I handled the TSA screening?
Yeah. You're always wrong. They always want you to feel
You're never
wrong.
right. You're never right.
Doesn't matter.
Dude, you'll be at the fucking TSA and you'll be taking off your shoes and they're like, I said don't take your fucking shoes off. And you're like, I'm sorry, it's different at every airport.
80% of airports make me do this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be helpful.
They're like, keep your fucking laptops in the bag. Yeah. And I'm like, it's
there
always...
are no signs.
I know.
If they need certain things, put up signs.
I know. But it's also, it changes from day to day.
I know.
It's crazy. They just make up the rules when they get there. Anyway.
They just need signs that they put up for the day.
Yes.
And then they tell people to look.
Yeah. Also, like when I'm in TSA, like there's always somebody being like, take your laptops, make sure you take, like they're always like saying the instructions.
Yeah.
And I always look to them and try to listen to see what the specific instructions are for this TSA, this airport. And like sometimes you just don't hear them and they're not saying anything. And I'm like, and then I start doing something and they're like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Laptop in a separate bin.
Yeah, I know.
And they kind of slam it around.
Yeah, I know.
If you get it wrong.
I know.
Man, this teacher's awful. It's like a teacher who makes you feel really bad.
Yeah.
When you don't know. I'm like, I'm trying to learn. I'm going to say that next time they get mad at me. I'm just trying to learn.
A teacher gets
TSA.
Mad. Oh, I'm just trying to learn. Dude, what if you got yelled at by the TSA because they're like, keep your shoes on. And then you start crying. Oh, I would love that.
I bet they make people cry.
I'm sure they fucking do.
Especially at an airport. People are very sensitive at an airport. Oh, everyone's thinking about death. Everyone's stressed. Some people are going to cry.
Okay. You think everyone's thinking about death?
Yes, I do. If not, like, consciously, it's definitely kind of on your mind when you're traveling.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think about death very much.
Okay.
In the airport. The airport's the only place I'm not thinking about death. You know what I mean?
The airplane?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about dying that way. You're more likely to get killed in like an Uber than an airplane.
No, I know that, but
I guess being up in the sky is anxiety inducing.
I feel like it's hard not to think about it, even though I know it's very unlikely. Just because it's such a weird...
Yeah, I guess like that thing just doesn't... Like I have a lot of anxieties about like getting hurt or dying, but like that specific thing is not one of them. I'm always afraid like a crazy guy's gonna run out of the woods and beat me to death, you know?
Yeah, same here. I think I got all of them.
Yeah, probably.
All right,
let's get to this. This is crazy. I'm like, am I wrong for handling the TSA? And then we're like, I'm afraid of death all the time. Within like 2 minutes, we were like, I think I'm afraid of every kind of death. This got so crazy. Jesus Christ. Okay. So it's about the TSA, guys. Woo! All right. So yesterday, I'm catching a connecting flight in JFK. We've been there. And have to go through TSA after clearing customs. I'm in a line that is moving particularly slower than all the other lines, maybe slower than any line in the history of the TSA.
Whoa.
But whatever, I'm patient and in no hurry as my connecting flight is in 2 hours.
I'm patient. I'm writing this as I'm in the line, mad.
I'm being very level-headed about this. And I want you guys to know that.
We've talked about this before. Anytime someone says that when they're explaining an argument, that means they're just retrospectively being like, and I said very politely and with intentional words what I wanted to say. And then they just like freaked out at me.
Yeah, I know.
That's how my mom talks about it.
I know, that is your mom voice.
Okay, that is not how it went.
Oh, God. The people in front of me put their carry-ons and personal items into trays and sent them down the conveyor into the scanner. There were no more trays left to use. This one TSO that looks like a dollop of mashed potatoes shuffles away slowly, like maybe she's done for the day. She doesn't say anything, just shuffles slow-mo. Like, I mean, she isn't even fully moving one foot fully past the other. I noticed that everyone had been using the trays, though no instructions for this have been given, at least while I've been in the line. It's now my turn to get my things through the machine, and there's not going to be any trays anytime soon if Mrs. Dollop is going to get some. Wow, this is crazy. This is exactly what we're talking about. I don't want to be the asshole holding up the line, so I do a little critical thinking.
Critical thinking. I thought logically.
I was thinking logically.
I was thinking sharply.
Yeah. My carry-on and backpack have gone through the TSA machines.
I nailed all of my thoughts.
Yeah. I just did what anybody would do.
I scraped all the emotions out.
Yeah. Scraped. My carry-on and backpack have gone through the TSA machines 100 times before without trays, and never once was it a problem. I decided to send my carry-on and backpack into the machine without a tray. Oh boy.
Oh.
Well, apparently this is very bad of me. This wide, tough-looking TSO operating the scanning machine gets up from her seat, looking angry. Could have been the painted eyebrows. Uh-oh, this is feeling bad.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure from her voice that she was not happy when she asked, who put the bag through without a tray? I sheepishly explained that there were no trays. Wide and tough eyebrows.
Sheepishly?
Yes, sheepishly. There's no way.
I don't like this guy.
Yeah, neither do
Throwing
I.
in words like that.
Also,
I don't even think that's the right word.
I don't think you need to be describing these people like this.
No.
Yeah, I feel like this is where that was like a big sign for me that he's probably not a good guy.
I think before anything happened, he decided there would be a bad interaction.
I think he
based
decided
on the way he's describing people.
I think he decided that everybody's a fucking idiot
Yeah.
except for him.
Yeah.
Wide and tough eyebrows, clearly annoyed with my faux pas, explained how my carry-on, the one that's been through 100 other scanners before, can break the machine without a tray. As she took my carry-on, put it on
That's
a tray.
definitely not true.
I know. And ran it through the machine
That's
again.
what you say to a kid. Like,
I know.
You can't, because you can't describe the real reason. So you're like, you'll ruin everything.
Well, but also, I would understand if a TSA agent said it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're not going to be like, well, we can't do that because of XYZ. They're going to be like, you're going to break the machine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, you hear that?
No.
Extended burp. It went for a long time.
Every time you burp, I never hear it.
Huh.
But you're always like, oop, just burped a lot.
Just for me.
That burp was just for me.
Oops, just burped a lot. Like, I want you to comment on it.
Yeah.
It didn't really happen, but I tried.
You literally said that earlier. We were like, oops, just burped a lot. You said those words. Oops, just burped a lot. Uh-oh. I guess I'm just a little girl who burps a lot. Uh-oh, burped a lot. All right, let's get back to this fucking post. It's so long. Somehow the two people in front of me were held up waiting for their things to come down the conveyor belt and got diverted to a second belt for extra inspection by another TSO who was just doing his job rolling with it. Meanwhile, they make me go through the hands up metal detector a few times, even though I'm not setting it off.
Hands up metal detector?
Also, it's so funny. Like, in his mind, he's like, they made me go through a few times to punish me.
Yeah.
Like, these people don't just want the line to go.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we're going to make an example of this guy.
Oh, yeah, this fucking asshole. We're going to make him stand with his hands up 3 times in a row.
That's what happens when you don't use a bin.
Yeah, I know.
Broke the machine. Machine won't work. Got to go through a few times.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's working.
Yeah. Make this asshole stand up with his hands up for too long.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Even though I'm not setting it off, then tough and wide eyebrows diverts my shoes, which had made it into a tray, thank the heavens, into the extra inspection belt for the 6'6" chill TSO to inspect. Big chill TSO is just smirking because he sees that old wide and tough eyebrows is just being extra today. Big chill immediately hands me my dusty ass sneakers that have been marching all across Italy for the last week and a half. Oh, he's been in Italy? Jesus. This guy's rich.
Yeah.
My wife, who was fortunate enough to have gone through another line, has been standing there waiting for about 10 minutes, having breezed through her line. She's looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? All I can do is shrug my shoulders and say that we are being extra thorough today. Eventually, after a very comprehensive scanning of my carry-on, followed by a comprehensive scanning of my backpack, I get my things and can go on my way. I know that each airport TSA check has slight differences in how they do things. So mental note, JFK, use the trays no matter what. Okay. This guy is so annoying.
He's very annoying.
Also,
I also just feel bad for his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, either he told her this immediately in that much detail and she loved it. Maybe that's the kind of relationship they have. And he was like, now I gotta write a post.
Yeah.
Or she can't put up with this. Like,
yeah. Well, what this post says to me about this guy is that he feels like everybody's out to get him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he puts his bag on the conveyor belt, and then somebody's like, you have to put it in a tray.
Yeah.
And then they look at his bag because maybe he had like contact solution in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, and then he had to like scan a few times because like he had a belt on.
Yep.
And then he's like, everybody's making my life harder on purpose.
Yeah.
Because
me, the one person in this line with any logic.
I know. I was thinking about it the whole time. This guy's such a fucking asshole.
Or he just wants to be right. He wants so badly to be right that he couldn't take the rejection of finding out he's supposed to use a bin.
Yeah.
So then he makes up this whole thing where it's like, they're treating me badly.
Yeah. You know what happened? The lady was like, you have to use a bin. And it made him feel like he was stupid for a second.
In front of a few people behind him.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's just like, put your bag in a bin. It's fine. Yeah. And like, he's like, that lady publicly humiliated me in front of all of the good people trying to go through TSA. And so then he jots down every detail in his fucking head, takes another flight after JFK, and then goes home and writes this post.
Yeah. Also, because he felt like he was being shamed and like everyone was watching and cared.
Yeah.
He probably messed up going through the scanner. That's why they had him go through a few times.
Like,
because he choked up and had his arms in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I know. Because he was too busy thinking about how stupid everybody at TSA is, even though they're just doing their fucking jobs. Also, like, I don't know. It's just like so, I don't know. I forget what I was going to say. But he basically, I don't know. He just felt publicly humiliated. Yeah. I don't know. He's just such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he got mad for no fucking reason. But also, like, nobody in this situation is wrong.
No.
Like, he was like, I think this is fun. Like, that's what happens at every TSA, going through TSA every time, is you're like, is this okay? And they're like, no!
I know.
It's like a universal experience.
I also try so hard to get it right, because I'm like,
Me too.
I don't want to deal with this.
Dude, yeah. Also,
and I do get a little annoyed when they do the thing, and I'm like, I tried.
Yeah.
I used all the information I have.
I know.
I am that guy. That was me. I posted that.
But you also don't, you're just like frustrated by the like thing that happened. You're not like, all these people are stupid and move slow.
I'm mad
and their eyebrows
because,
are bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm mad because they're trying so hard to make it efficient. But then because they're not clear, it becomes inefficient because we don't know.
Yes.
And then they're yelling at us for being inefficient.
Yes.
Like,
I know.
You don't get it. I love efficiency. I should wear a shirt like that when I go to TSA. I'm on your side. I love efficiency. Oh, wait. I gotta tell you something before we end.
Oh, okay.
We could end it there, but...
Yeah. But go ahead.
I keep meaning to tell you this. Maybe I told you in person, but I don't think I told you on the pod. When I was traveling sometime last year, I was in a TSA line, and there was a dog in the line, not one of the drug dogs.
Yeah.
Just like a person's dog.
Yeah.
And this lady in line kept turning around and barking at the dog. I think the dog was barking every so often. And this lady like thought it was like really fun and cute. She's an old lady, like 50. Not so old that it would be cute.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
If a 90-year-old did that, I'd be like, cute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she was like 50, 60 years old. She's turning around to a dog and being like, "Roo, roo."
Also, if the dog is barking, don't bark at it. It'll bark more.
She was having so much fun. It was just ridiculous.
God. Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
People bark at my dog all the time.
Really?
Yeah, like I'll walk by like a group of teenagers on the street and they'll be like, "Roo, roo, roo, roo."
Oh, yeah.
And then my dog will be like, what's going on? And they'll be like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, that's what fucking happens, bro. You're such an idiot. What did you think was going to... You spoke in her language.
Communicate to an animal and then communicated back?
Yeah, and then it looks...
You're surprised?
She doesn't bark back. She just like looks at them and she's like, oh, what's going going on? And they're like, oh, because she like looks scary.
Yeah. They're
and
like,
I'm
nothing.
I know.
Like,
I'm like, what did you say to her? What the fuck did you just say to her?
when you first said sometimes people bark at my dog, I imagine people like just an adult like you walking past you and be like,